Yo, what's happening, traders? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be trading the Silver Bullet Strategy. We're waiting for the kill zone, which is 3 o'clock UK time, just after New York Open. We're going to be looking for the setup, taking the trade, and hopefully we're going to catch a winner. So let's go. Just jumping onto the charts then, we're going to have a look at what's going on. Currently, we've got about 15 minutes until the time frame that we're looking for to find the setup. We're on the 30-minute chart here, and I just want to point out a couple of things. So we've been in a downtrend today, as you can see, really nice downward trend. And you can see that we've got a white line here. Now, this white line is actually the weekly flip area. Okay, so we've got our weekly candle here, which has created a lovely, last week was a very bearish week, as you can see, closed out pretty much with almost no bottom wick there. If I zoom right in, and basically what you can see is we've got a three-line strike, so we've got 3 bullish candles and an engulfing bearish candle, which is called a three-line strike. So this on the weekly charts. This week already we've had a push up, and now you can see that the weekly candle is about to flip bearish. So that is the interesting thing for us. Usually when a candle flips bearish, we at least get a bit of a move to create a bit of a wick and move down. As you can see, we've created a top wick. Now I think we're going to flip out bearish, break the low of this candle, and then for the rest of the week we could be heading down for potential sell positions. So that for me gives me an idea that potentially we're going to be looking for a sell here on the Silver Bullet at 3 o'clock today. You can also see that overall you can we have been in this sort of overall downward trend. Okay, so big lower low here, lower high, lower low, lower high, and then we could potentially be on our way down to making a new lower low, and actually almost about to flip out in a minute. So obviously if this candle does flip, go below this white candle, sorry, this white line here, then the weekly candle has flipped bearish, which is a good sign that potentially we're going to keep going down. And you can see we've had a rejection from this area already, from this resistance, sorry, the support. So it looks like price does want to turn around and come down to here. So this is a 230 candle. This is a New York Stock Exchange candle opening, and as you can see, big bearish pressure here. So we just got to wait. We are going to be taking the trade on the 1-minute chart, and basically in the next bit I'm going to show you an example from yesterday, and I'll show you what we're looking for. Okay, so you can see this is yesterday's trade, and you can see we have a box here. This is 3 p.m. to the left here, and this is 4 p.m. So this is a whole hour worth of minute candles in front of us, and this is UK time, and this would be 10 a.m. on the left here in New York, and 11 a.m. on the right here. So basically what we're looking for is the first fair value gap to get printed, and then the first touch into that fair value gap to go. Now it seems like, you know, I've made a video on this before. Some people said there was a, you know, or we weren't doing it right, whatever. There's simple ways to do this strategy. You don't have to make it too complicated. And this is what I found is the easiest way to do it. Okay, sometimes people look for liquidity grabs, etc. We have had actually a liquidity grab here off the bottom of these lows before prices pushed up, breaking structure. So in this case, you know, things are looking in the right direction for a buy. Basically, we had a fair value gap made just here, this little one down here, a big one here, and then the third one is right here. So basically what I was going for then was basically looking for a first touch into this fair value gap here. The stop loss goes below the candle which created the fair value gap, and then we're looking for a 1 to 2, which, as you can see, we actually got a 1.78 in the end up to this point here. Alright, so it's very simple, looking for a touch into the fair value gap. It is the one which comes and touches first, and then we're looking for buy in that direction that the fair value gap was created. Now I'm going to go to the day before, and I'm going to show you another example as well before we get into the live charts and see if we can find a setup. Alright, so I've gone a couple of days back, and what we can see is that 3 o'clock is this candle here. So we're just going to play price through, and we're going to wait for a fair value gap to form. So we could potentially have one here. I'm actually going to play this through in like a simulation manner. I thought that might be more interesting than just going to yesterday and showing you the same thing again. I've gone back a few random days, and we're going to look to see if we can find one on this chart here. So we're going to go forward, and as you can see there, we've actually created a fair value gap. So we're going to draw that in. Okay, now if you don't know what a fair value gap is, there is a video on the channel which you can go check out to show you how to find fair value gaps. But basically it's an area of clean price action where price is moving in one direction without anything in front or behind. As you can see here, there's no candle behind this bit, there's no candle in front of this bit. And then what we're going to look for is price to come back up into this zone. So we're going to actually set a little trade here, okay? And we're going to go for our 1 to 2. Now in this case, I'm going to put the stop above our high here. And we're going to go for a 1 to 2 to see what happens. So we're going to see if we get tagged into the trade, which we've just been tagged in there. Okay, tagged into the trade, coming into that fair value gap. So let's see what happens next. And there we go. That was very quick. So that's basically what we're looking for. Simple stuff. The 3 o'clock is open. We found the fair value gap. We got tagged in on that fair value gap. Stop above the high here, which I thought was the safest place. I could have had the stop above here and had a smaller profit target, but we're always still going for a 1 to 1 and risking a 1% to gain 2% here. At least that's what I do in my strategy. And then, yeah, touched in, and that thing just melted down with volume. And yeah, that was the quickest trade. And we were in that trade for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, basically 6 minutes. And then we'd be done for the afternoon. So that's what we're looking for today. Hopefully we can find that. And yeah, we've got 9 minutes until 3 o'clock happens, and then we're literally going to be looking for that first fair value gap, and then hopefully looking to take a nice trade and hopefully get a winner. So let's see. So just patiently waiting here, and just come back after a little break. We have 30 seconds until the 3 o'clock candle opens, and you can see now we have broken below that white line, which means that the weekly candle has now flipped. And if I go to the weekly, you can see we have flipped, and we've actually broken out the low of this candle here, which is a good sign in my trading. If you're new to the channel, or if you've been here for a long time, you'll know what that means. But basically, it's a good sign that price is going to want to continue now because we've respected this candle's high. Obviously, we've got strong bearish moves here. We've broken out the low, and we've got a fair value gap below on the weekly, which is going to potentially say to us that we want to move down. Not only that, do we also have a weekly supply zone to the left here, as you can see, which pushed down, breaking structure on the way down. And created this new low down here, and you can see we're having a nice reaction off that, a strong bearish move from the supply zone, and now we can look for price to potentially continue down. Now obviously we're only looking at the 1 minute chart today, we're not looking for weekly moves, and so we're just, as you can see, the new candle, sorry, the new 3 o'clock candle has opened. So now we're just going to wait. We're going to wait to see if we can get a fair value gap. And we're going to see what direction that fair value gap is printed, and then we'll look to take a trade in that direction. So I'm just going to wait here patiently and see if we get anything, and yeah, patience is the game. So let's see. I'm just going to get everything set up and ready, so if we do get a trade, I can get ready with setting that up on my MT4, and all I've got to do is click the button. So clearly bearish momentum, bearish movements. We had this big bullish candle here, but now we have a new bearish 2 candles forming. I'm anticipating a bearish fair value gap, but we'll just have to wait and see. This could be a fake out of the weekly sort of lows here, but we'll just have to wait and see. But we're breaking new lows, which is looking good. So obviously if this candle closes now and creates a fair value gap here, the next candle closes and then doesn't fill it, we can look for a fill then. Look at this. Big moves. 5 seconds left. Okay, I'm going to let this fast forward, and I'll wait, and I'll come back when we've got some sort of action. Okay, in fact, I didn't need to do that. So, have we got a fair value gap yet? No. So you see that we did create a fair value gap, but this candle's immediately filled it in. That doesn't count for me. I need a gap to be printed, then another candles get printed, and then get tagged into that gap. So nothing to trade yet. So we'll be back in a minute. Let us fast forward, and hopefully we'll have a gap in a second. So just jumping in here quick, we've just had this candle formation form on the 1 minute, which is a bearish candle, a indecision bullish candle, and if this candle respects this candle's high and breaks out the low, there's a good sign that that is a bearish continuation pattern, which it looks like we may get. Okay, and then for me that is a good sign that price is going to continue down. I could actually take a trade on that setup, it would match my rules for one of my trading strategies, but today we're trading Silver Bullet, so we'll see if we can get a Silver Bullet trade rather than that. But if we do break out of here and respect this high, that is a valid entry for a sell trade pushing down. So again, we'll just let this play fast forward, and I'll be back in a minute. Right, so 5 seconds left on this candle. That candle didn't do what I thought. We have pushed up, breaking back above the this white line here, which means that the weekly candle was actually flipped bullish again now. Now we have a fair value gap created here. We're going to have to wait to see what this next candle does. Okay, and we'll just have to see if what we get. Now we're getting strong bullish movement here. So currently we have our fair value gap that we're looking at right here. Now if this current candle fills it, again that's not a trade for me, but if this candle closes above here, then we get tagged into the trade. It's going to look something a little bit like this, then that's going to be our trade. Okay, but we got 17 seconds to see if this one closes above, and then we're going to be waiting for a candle to come back into this fair value gap, and then we're going to take the buy if that is the case. We've got 8 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As soon as, if we get a tap into this down here, I'm taking the buy. That wasn't a tap yet. There we go, we're in. Okay, trade was taken. I'm going to go for a 2.5 pip right there. And our full TP is going to be up there. Okay. We are in the trade. Stop loss is in. TP is in. 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio. That's it. Now we just wait. Let's see what happens. Right, so next candle's opened. We have had a bit of rejection away. We've come back down, but hopefully we can get a push up. Now you can see we haven't got far to go. Okay, we've only got getting 5 ticks here, which is going to be lovely for us if we can get up to that point. I'm not going to take any partials. I'm just literally going to close out full if we hit this point, and then I'm done for this session, and probably going to go to the gym or go ride my skateboard. So hopefully we can go do that with a smile on our face, but we'll see. I'll come back in a minute with an update. I'll let this fast forward, and yeah, I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so the next candle has come up. We have had a break above these highs, which is a good sign. Okay, bullish momentum's coming in, which we like to see. So let's see if we can keep on moving, and I will come back again when we have another update. I reckon if we do continue up, we're going to be looking at about another 4 to 5 minutes in this trade. Now, just one thing. The only thing that is not so good about the trade is the fact that obviously we had a bearish flip of the weekly candle, which indicates to me sellers coming in and pushing down. But according to the rules, this is the rules that we've had. Okay, and everything's lined up. You can see we're out of profit at the moment. So we're following the rules, and if it doesn't come to fruition, then we can always look for a second entry here for a potential of which we could need, because we're getting very close to our stop loss there. So we could be looking for a second position here. Oh yeah, we're looking for a second position. So we're going to come back in a second. We've now got another fair value gap potentially being created here. So we just have to wait and see, okay? So I am actually liking this a little bit better, because we have had that liquidity grab off the top of this high. Okay, the candle is obviously now flipping bearish. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm just going to put it over here because we've now got this fair value gap created here. Alright, now if we do get tapped into here, then I'm going to go for the trade, and we can be looking for that sell trade, which I thought was going to be the better trade for us to take anyway. But according to the rules, we had what we wanted. We actually had a little liquidity grab off here before price pushed up and actually broke structure back above here. So now we're looking for a sell trade. And what I would do in this situation is I will increase my lot size just slightly, okay, and even if we do win this trade, we only lost 1% on that last trade. If we win this trade, we're still going to be up 1% on the day, and I'm very happy with that. And maybe a touch more, because I'll probably increase it just a little bit. So maybe risking sort of 1.25 on this trade. So let's see. We've now had two fair value gaps form. We've got one here and one here. If price comes into this gap now, then I will take that out. Or if this candle closes, okay, and we then get a next candle coming into this gap, then I'll take the trade from there. So, oh, wrong tool. We'll just have to see how this candle finishes up, and then we could potentially look for a trade from there. Okay, so we've got 17 seconds. If we do tap into this one, we're taking the trade, taking the sell. And in fact, we've filled this gap now, so we'll have to wait to see if we do get a tap in. If we do, we're getting very close. There we go. Trade taken. Okay, stops going above the candle, which gave us the fair value gap, and we're going for our 1 to 2, which is down there. Okay, so there we go. We've taken our second position here after our first loss. Same rules. Obviously, we're just following the momentum a little bit more because the weekly candles flip bearish. We've had a liquidity grab off the top here, and price is pushed down, breaking major structure, taking out the lows here as well. So we can now look for price to continue with that flip of the weekly candle and hopefully keep on moving down. I'm actually not going to put a full stop on this one because I do feel this could continue for a little bit today. So I may look to take a runner on this one, but we'll see. When we were going up, I definitely wanted to close out full because my bias overall was bearish. But for now, we're going to keep just a stop loss on there, and then we can look to decide what we want to do after that. But so far, so good. So far, very good. There we go. Like it. Looking good, looking good. Push, push, push. And there we go. So I'm going to take 80% of the trade there. And that is closed out there. So we got 20% running on the trade. We made 1% on that trade because I added a little bit more onto the lot size. So we made about 1% after going for our 1 to 2. And we've made up that loss we just took and 1% on top of that, and I've got a runner with my stop loss now at break even, which is not something I'd normally do, but because we've had that weekly bearish flip, okay, you can see price is now pushing down. We've got a gap to fill, so I think this can push down a bit further. So I'm going to leave this video here likely, and what I'll do is I'll post the results on our Discord or online, on Instagram. But that was a pretty successful session. Unfortunately, the first trade didn't go to the way we wanted it to, but we stayed calm. We read the market, and we actually took that sell position, and we came out on top. So very happy with that. Hopefully you learned something from the video, and hopefully you enjoyed it. And again, thank you to everyone who's been supporting the channel for so long. We're at like 1,500 subscribers now. We've got like nearly 100 of you in the Discord, and it's all super cool. If you want to go check out our trade inspired clothing, go check it out. The link is in the description below, and check all the links down there as well. Hopefully this runner can keep running and give us a few more pips, and maybe even make back that 1% loss we took up there to give us a 2 or 3% gain today. So I'm gonna leave the video here. Thank you very much. Subscribe, like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.